Hey guys, it's Monet with Tick Life, and today is Transparent Thursday. I am very happy to be filming the third one. I have really been enjoying filming these topics and just being open and honest. I think that honesty is like so helpful. And it's cleansing for me as well. So if you follow me on Instagram, you know that I am also in the middle of just doing a month of Beat You or hashtag Beat You with the emphasis on be you. And so one of the things that I like about this is that it helps me to stay focused. I feel like life is not only a journey, but it's also like a race as well. And I'm not racing to the end, but in the sense of, when I ran track, one of the things that you had to know, number one, was to stay in your lane. You can not only hurt yourself, but you can also hurt others and get disqualified if you go into the other competitor's lane. And you also have to have like like tunnel vision. From the moment you take off and you see that white tape or you see that finish line, you are really envisioning your victory, you're envisioning your trophy, you're envisioning just the end. And so I kind of take that same perspective in teaching. One of the things that I had to tell myself as a early teacher, and I say that because your first year is not the only hard year that you're gonna have. Every year has been a learning curve for me personally, and I think it's been a learning curve because every year I reflect and I try to do better and be more effective and be more productive and use my time wisely every year. And so every year I'm learning something new about myself, about my teacher strategy, about my grade level, about my content, and about my profession. I'm a lifelong learner. That's just what I do. And so one of the things that one of the reasons of why I think that Beat You is so good to do in the month of July, especially, is because a lot of us are prepping to go back to school. Like, I know we just started summer, but it takes me a minute to get prepared. Like, I can't do what I do without using my summertime to really just enrich my craft and to better myself and to prepare for the next year. One of the things that I like about this campaign or this thing that I'm doing on Instagram is that it really forces me to stay focused on me, to stay focused on my classroom, to stay focused on my population, because it's so easy to look on Instagram, to look on Pinterest, and get a little envious, like to become that green envy person, where you're like, oh, I want my classroom to look like that, oh, I gotta have this and I gotta have that, and then you buy it and you're like, well, what am I gonna do with it? How am I gonna use this for instruction? Will my kids even like this? And so I like this because, again, it just helps me to just stay focused, to not overspend, to not do things out of purpose. If you ever go into my classroom, every single thing has a purpose. I really don't like just things to be there. It really like irks my nerves. And so I just really like knowing what I'm buying, why I'm buying it, what am I doing, why am I doing it, what is this time for, how long is this time, and it just helps a lot with classroom management, with planning and things of that nature. So to get into today's transparent Thursday, I want to share my reflection with you. So this week of Beat You is reflection. That is the focus, to reflect upon yourself and to think about your strengths, to think about your weaknesses, and just what you want to do better. How can you better yourself? And so today I will be sharing 4 strengths and 3 weaknesses. And I really had to sit down and think about this thing. And I honestly have been doing it ever since May, because I do keep like a list of things that I want to do better the next year, whether that's a mini lesson, a subject, a topic, a project, a field trip. I just write it all down so that I can plan it better, organize it better, create whatever to make it better the next year with my next group of students. And so I do have my handy dandy phone because I want to make sure that I use this time wisely as well, because you guys know I like to have short videos. So to get into my weaknesses first, and then we'll get into the strengths. But the first weakness is consistently running small groups. I struggle with consistently having a routine and task for small groups. And I think the number one reason why I don't do well with it is because a lot of times I am always in front of my students. Like, we're always working together, we're always talking things through, I'm always modeling, and then they do like whole group independent, and then I go back into modeling, and we check and we talk and we do a lot of discussions. And so I really have not mastered consistently doing small groups. So what I have done in the past is I may say, okay, we're gonna do small groups rotations for 2 weeks. I'll craft enough small group activities to where they can do it for 2 weeks at a time. So kind of take the stress off of doing small groups, like project stuff for a week. I hope I'm making sense. But then we'll do it, and I don't know, maybe it's because of a field trip or a school event or a holiday break. It just throws me off, and it's really hard to get back into that rotation. So this summer, what I did was I crafted my rotations already. I crafted the purpose of the centers, and I'll be showing that in another video. But I have gone ahead and kind of tackled that for myself, just to make sure that I do it well this year. And the reason why I want to do small groups this year is because one of my small groups is going to be guided reading. In the past, I have pulled students, but it's just been like, hey, we have 15-20 minutes before we change. I really want to work with you. I really want to hear you read. I really want to see you master this task. So come to my table, let's work on it. But this year, I really want to be purposeful with it. I have read Daily 5, Cafe, and I have another book that I've kind of just dug in and kind of pulled some resources out of, just to help me with planning and teaching small groups for reading. So that was my summer task for June. I have mastered that. I have mapped it out. I'm good to go, to help me with that weakness. The second weakness is student portfolios. Okay. Last year, every year, honestly, I have kids buy binders, and we stack those binders on my bookshelf, and they never put anything in them. What I end up usually doing is folding construction paper, writing their name and their homeroom teacher on it, and because I'm departmentalized, so I have to put, their name and then the teacher that's responsible for their attendance on the folder. I color code them, and I just put everything in that folder. And then what they do is they take them home every end of semester. So from August to December is a folder, from January to May is a folder, and inside of that folder is all their work that they've done, including assessments and independent work. And so I like to do that because they may want to use that, for next year or whatever have you, but it's all in that folder. But I just don't do well with data portfolio. So let me clear that up. What I would like to do is have data folders where they can monitor their own growth, and it can guide my conferences, whether that be with parents, administrators, or the student themselves. So I want to get better with that. I don't know if I'm going to do well with it this year. You have to choose one thing. So all my new teachers out there, you have to choose what you're going to focus on to really master. Because if you have a laundry list of things you really want to master in a year, more than likely you're not going to get to all of them, or you're going to hit them, but you're not going to really knock them out the box, So I have to chunk it where it's okay, what do you want to really do well this year? And I really want to do well with my small groups, my guided reading centers. So that is really my focus of mastery this year. But I do know that I need to grow in the area of my student portfolio. So we'll figure out, maybe I'll find something on TPT, or I'll see a video and somebody can show me what's really, really good. I know the Lettered Classroom, she has really good stuff for how she used to do her kindergartners. I don't know if she has one for fourth graders. I haven't seen, but I know her kindergarten portfolios are really good with the monitoring fluency, monitoring the letter, like the Funness and Bunnell reading levels and Lexile and stuff like that. Like that was in her folder, but I don't know. I'm gonna do well. And then my third weakness that I definitely struggled with this year was response to intervention. So if you're brand new to teaching, you don't know what that is, or maybe use a different lingo in your state or county. Response to intervention is like your tier system. So you have tier one, those students that can generally work in the general population. They're on grade level, or they're like your bubble kids where they're like right on the curve, but you can push them over to mastery. Then you have your tier two where you notice that they're a little behind, whether that's with phonemic awareness, comprehension, fluency, computation, math facts, like things of that nature. And so you pull them in small groups. I think the group can be as big as 5 or 6 students, or 4 or 5 students. And then you have tier 3, which is like severe. They have like really big achievement gaps. You work with them 3 times a week independently by themselves, and you're monitoring them from 6 to 8 weeks for growth, and then they bump up. If they cannot get off of tier 3, then they go for testing for special education. And yeah, I moved to a new county this previous year, and I wasn't accustomed to the way that they collected their data and reported their data. In my last county, number one, I only had one student that was a part of tier, so it was really easy to work with him and to put everything in his folder, and then I handed that folder to our intervention specialist, and she did all of the digital uploads. Well, in my new county, their procedures were totally different. I had 18 because I did all of the reading from my grade level. So I mean, it was like a ridiculous number of students on tier 2 and tier 3, and working with them independently in a small groups, it took a lot of my instructional time. It was just so chaotic. So not only did I have to like reteach certain foundational skills to them, but I had to give them independent exercises, and then I had to do weekly assessments. Then I had to scan them in and get those bad boys into the system for our county. It was ridiculous. Like, it was just so much. And then like the window of working with the SST specialist, student support specialist, it was like, ugh, like it was a mess. It was a mess. Did I get it done? Yes. Did I make sure I work with those kids? Yes, because I'm legally held accountable for doing it. But I just wasn't accustomed to how my current school and district did it, and it just was like a headache. To be honest, it was a headache. So this year I have already like made my organizer. It's a part of my student plan, well, my teacher planner on TPT. I have everything in that little binder. I am so blessed and highly favored to just get everything from here to here. And so the second thing that I need to do outside of having the SST or the RTI organizer is to come up with my upload schedule. So when am I going to take the data and upload? Am I going to do it daily? Am I going to do it 3 times a week? But I don't stay at the school for that. Like, I go home. I believe in going home. I believe in turning it off. So I have to figure out what day is going to be my late day, and I will upload those things into the computer. But it is so tedious, and it takes a lot of time. It's just, it's not the recording. It's not the working with the kids. Like, I can do that part, but it's just like the paperwork of RTI and SST is like ridiculous. So I want to do better. To get into my 4 strengths, I couldn't narrow it down to 3 because that was one I really wanted to talk about. But my first strength that I rock at, that I have noticed, is breaking down standards and strategies. I can really look at a standard, figure out what they need to know, how to word it. That's my thing. Like, I love it. I live for it. And then the actual strategies, like developing the rubrics and the I can statements and the teaching it to the students and helping them like master it and move up and move up and move up. I can do that. I love that. Number 2, building relationships with students, meaning getting to know them, accepting them for who they are, treating them all fairly and meeting them where they are academically. I think I do a really good job of that. And I think because I know the importance of building a community within my classroom, I really like the way it feels, how it just makes such a difference. I don't have to fight and argue and beg and do all that extra work when it comes to classroom management, because when you build that relationship and you build that community, students do it because they want to do it, not because they have to do it. This year I was really proud of myself because I had a few students that I really just didn't care for. It was something about their character that was really nasty, whether it was because they were rude or they were or they were like really sneaky and they lied about a lot of stuff, or they mistreated other kids and they kind of didn't have any empathy. Having good character or having positive character is something that I try to pour into kids. And every now and then you cannot pour into kids because you're fighting other things. You're fighting, how they're raised in their own home. You're just fighting a lot. And so you can't save all of them. I do try to save all of them, but I know realistically that I can't. So I'm just really proud of myself because even when I really don't like a student, and I can say that, okay, I'm a teacher, I don't like everybody and everybody don't like me, so I can say that even when I don't like a student, I always give them kudos when they rock their assignments. I always allow them to participate. I'm not the kind of teacher that says, I don't want to hear your voice, go in that corner, leave. I don't do all of that. Even if I don't really like you as a person, I still try to work with them. I still try to encourage them. I still try to pour into them. So I'm really proud that I can do that, because I do see teachers sometimes that they kind of blackball a child. Like, I'm just done. I'm not going to talk to them. I'm not going to see them. They're invisible. I don't hear their voice. Don't ask me anything. Can they come to your room for the rest of the week? And I don't do that. I keep it all up here. But at the end of the day, these are children, and I give them what I can. Meeting them where they are, that really just goes into following them a lot. Just a lot of observations, a lot of assessments, and just working with them. If I know that they're not really on the 4th grade level, which is what I teach, they're on the 1st grade level, okay, I'm going to build you for 1st grade. Instead of just saying, you need to be here. If you don't be here, oh, well, that's on you. No. So that goes to differentiation. So I guess I'm really good at differentiation. Blah, 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 blah. Thirdly, classroom management. I have always rocked at classroom management. If you looked at my early videos where I talk about my core principle, which is fair, stern, and consistent, that is what I am. And it works from day one. I'm not super mean and dry, and I don't, the teacher that don't smile and laugh with kids. I do all of that. I tell my kids we can have fun, but as soon as it gets foolish, it's a wrap. And they want to have fun. They want to laugh with you. They want to, interact with you and know that you're human just like they're human. And so I think I do really well with rewards, consequences, and just making sure that they're in an effective, safe, organized environment. And that is all classroom management is. My last one is, I think I really rock at fighting for my students. I have gotten past the whole thing of losing my job. Like, I really don't care. Not to say I don't cherish my job, but I'm a believer. Like, teaching is a source, but it's not my source. And at the end of the day, I know I would never be begging for bread or broke or poor. I'm too talented, too blessed, and too anointed to ever be begging for bread. So that really frees me to do what is right. And sometimes that means, asking tough questions to your administration, asking tough questions, and having high expectations of parents, even when they don't want to have expectations for themselves or their children. I don't care. If it's right, I'm going to do it. I fight for them to have field trips. I fight for them to have just whatever they need. If we need technology, if we need passwords or passcodes or whatever, I fight for them to have it. I try to fight for them to have exposure. And some of these things aren't a given. I typically work in a Title I environment, and you would think they have a lot of funding, but they put a lot of their funding in other places. Like, I can't tell an administrator where to put their money. But what I'm saying is, I am their advocate, and they are at a point where they really can't fight for themselves because they don't know enough to do it. I know the laws. I know their rights. I know their rights as citizens, you know, so like I think it's my job to fight for them. And so I do it, you know. I don't care who I have to you know, what door I gotta knock on. The door is gonna be knocked on, and I'm gonna knock on it until that child has what they need, because I would want somebody to do that for me. I would want somebody to do that for my own child. If you see it, if you know about it, and if you can make a difference, then make that difference. So that is my Transparent Thursday video. I hope you guys really enjoyed this information, and hopefully you too will look inside of yourself. You'll reflect on your class experience from this previous year to get ready for the new year and just rock it. So as you hear my daughter's coming in, so I have to end this video. Make sure you go ahead and like. If you have not subscribed, go ahead and subscribe. To all my new subscribers, hey, how are you doing? Welcome to the Tick Life channel. And for all my ODs who watch every week, hi, and thank you. Thank you for your support. Thank you for your kind words. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I am very grateful. You don't have to click my videos, but you do. So I appreciate it. Have a great day. Continue to enjoy your summer. And remember, hashtag beat you, be you, because you rock. Tick on.